So the first question is a question on July 2000. July 2000. Question number 3A. We can ask to read for us. July 2000. Question 3A.
The Z division of XYZ Limited produces a component which it sells externally and can also be transferred to other divisions within the organization. The division has set a performance target for the coming financial year of residual income of 5 million shillings. The following budgeted information relating to Z division has been prepared for the coming financial year. 1. Maximum production or sales capacity of 800,000 units. Sales to external customers, 500,000 units at 37 shillings. Variable cost per component of 25 shillings. Fixed cost directly attributable to the division, 1,400,000 shillings. Capital employed of 20 million shillings with cost of capital of 13%. The X division of XYZ Limited has asked Z division to quote a transfer price for units of the component. Required, calculate the transfer price per component with which Z division should quote to X division so that its residual income target is achieved. 2. Explain why the transfer price calculated in one above may lead to suboptimal decision-making from the point of view of XYZ Limited taken as a whole.
Thank you. That's good. So the question is combining performance measurement and transfer pricing. Combining performance measurement and transfer pricing. We already have covered transfer pricing. Now, the question is the price that should give us residual income. So we are going to begin by saying residual income. Residual income is equal to the formula that we already have in our notes is divisional contribution. Divisional contribution minus the cost of capital. Minus the cost of capital. That's the formula. Oh, we finished variances and we started the performance measurement. If you are not in class last time, right? We finished. So you can check the video that was sent if you. Okay, so in this one, we need to get the residual income. We are targeting a residual income of 5 million. We are targeting a residual income of 5 million. And the residual income is going to be given as sales. So sales is that we are having 500,000 units multiplied to the, or rather sold to the external persons. So you multiply by 35, that's 7. Then the balance, 300,000 units, sold internally at a price P, can call it P to be the transfer price. Then you minus the variable cost. We're just computing the profit. So the variable cost is for each of these 800,000 units, you multiply by 25. For each of the 800,000, you multiply by 25. Then we are told there is a fixed cost of 1.4. A fixed cost of 1.4 million, a fixed cost of 1.4. Then you are supposed to raise the cost of capital, which we are told is 13%. 13% of the cost of capital, we are told capital employed is 20 million. Capital employed, 20 million. So I believe you can solve and finally tell me what is the value of P. Solve and tell me what is the value of P. What is the answer? What is the value of P from there? Good, 35. So P is 35. That's good. That's the correct answer. So the next requirement, we are told, explain why the price calculated may lead to suboptimal decision making from the viewpoint of X, Y, Z taken as a whole. So you can write this. You can write this. The transfer price of shillings 35. The transfer price of shillings 35 will lead to suboptimal decision making will lead to suboptimal decision making. Since the supplying manager may decide to reduce the quality. Since the supplying manager may decide to reduce the quality of the materials, used to make the item, in order to safeguard his profit. Yeah, so why are we saying so? It is because you see, this same manager and the same product is able to sell to the outside world at 37. So if he told to sell at 35, it means that he's losing 2 shillings per unit. And in losing 2 shillings per unit of the profit, if you multiply by this number of units that is selling internally, that means he is losing a whole 600,000. So he's going to report 5 million, where he should have reported 5.6 million. So the 0.6 million is a significant amount, and he may not just be willing to let it go, especially if there are attached rewards. For example, maybe he has been told, we are going to pay you a bonus of 10% of what you report. So you see a bonus of 10% of what he reports here will be 50,000. But if it is 5.6, it will be 56,000. So he may not be willing to let go of the 6,000. Good. Let's go to May 2002, question 5. May 2002, question number 5. And I want to ask Noor to read for us. May 2002.
Which question?
Question number 5.
Zimco Media Group has 3 major divisions: newspaper, television, film station. Summary of the financial data in millions shilling for the year 2000 and 2001 is given below. The manager of each division has an annual bonus plan based on the division on its division's returns on investment. The company defines return on investment as operation income divided by total asset. Senior executive from the division reporting increase in the division ROI from the prior year are automatically eligible for a bonus. Senior executive division reporting decline in return on investment have to provide a persuasive explanation for the decline in order to be eligible for any bonus, and they are and they are eliminated 50% of the bonus paid to the division managers, reporting an increase in return on investment. J. Kanyama, a manager in the newspaper division, is considering a proposal to invest shilling 200 million in fast speed printing process with a color option. The estimated increment to the year 2002 operating income will be shilling 30 million. The media group has a 12% required rate of return for investment in all the divisions, in all the three divisions required. Use the DuPont method to explain the difference among the three divisions in their 2001 in the 201 return on investment. Use 201 in total asset as a denominator. We explain why the J. Kenyans should undertake the fast speed printing press investment proposal. C. J.T. Zimko, the chairman of the media group, received a proposal to base senior executive compensation in each division on the residual income defined as operating income less input interest charge. Compute the residual income of each division in the year 2001. With the option of residual income basis changes, J. Kenyama decision on the acceptance of the fast speed printing press investment proposal.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Nur, for taking us through that. Let us design a table of these formats. We have newspapers. We have television. And we have film studios. Have you finished drawing? I think you are in noon. Because maybe you were noon. Are you through?
Yes.
Okay, so if we are through, then we can start the computations. So for this one, you can see we are told to use the values of 2001 as the base. So the income for 2001 is the newspaper is 1100 and the revenue for 2001 is 4,600. So divide this and give me the answer to 4 decimals. Zero 0.2391. When we go to TV, the income is 160 and the revenue is 6,400. So again, give me to 4 decimals. At 0.025. When we go to the film studios, the income is 200, the revenue is 1,550. Point 1212. Let's come to capital turnover. We have the revenue again. The revenue is for the newspaper is 4,600. And the assets are 4,900. So this is showing us for every sharing of the assets, how much revenue do we generate? $0.9388. The next one is the revenue of 6,400 and 3,000. $2.1. 333. And the other one is 1,600 and the assets of 2,600. 0.6154. Now to get the return on investment. Now, when you break it down this way, this is the one they are calling the dew point. When you break it down this way, otherwise you could as well have taken just the income you divide by assets. That's the formula we gave. But you also give the one for dew point. So this one will be 0.2391 times 0.9388 times 100. So give it 2 decimals. Oh, this other one is 1650, eh? Oh, nimechukua ile 2000. So it's 1650. Thank you. So does that change this one? This one, Rahi, does it change? Yeah, 0.6346. Okay. Give me this now. Yeah, 22.45%. Then I have 0.025 times 2.1333 times 100. Times 100. (5.33%). Then 0.1212 times 0.6346 times 100. (7.69%). Then for the residual income, you get the income, which is 1100 here. You minus the cost of capital. The cost of capital, we are told the rate of return is 12%. So it is 12% of the capital. Capital is represented by assets here, which are 4,900. Yeah, 512. Then here the income is 160 minus 12% of the assets, which are 3,000. Minus 2,200. Then we have 200 here minus 12% of 2,600. Yeah, negative 112. So that is how you compute those measures. So part A, they had said use the DuPont method to explain the differences among the three divisions. Yeah, so you can see the differences. And if you want to interpret, you just do like what I had said, that this is now the revenue expressed in terms of the profits. And this answer here means that for every 1 shilling of revenue, there is a profit of this much. Yeah. So you can see this one is doing better because it's giving us a revenue of around 23%, a profit of around 23%. When this is giving us around 2%, this one is giving us around 12. So newspaper is doing well in terms of the profits. Then in terms of the assets turnover, and we are saying here that this one means the revenue generated for every shilling that we have invested in the assets. You can see this is generating 0.9, this is generating 2.1, and this is generating 0.6. So in terms of the capital turnover, or which department is using its assets well, this one reads better. Because for every shilling we invest there, in a rate revenue, 2.1. But unfortunately, I think the cost of running the TV are very high, because you can see that 1 shilling that is generated by the TV, it is being reduced to 0.025 profit. So there is a whole 0.975 that is cost. Yeah, so despite the fact that you have done so well here, kuja hapa tunapotea. Compared with these ones, these ones are generating base, generating base. These ones generating this revenue, and there is that profit. Then, in terms of percentages now, the return on the capital invested, you can see these reads, followed by this one, followed by this. In terms of residual income, this is the one that is the highest, followed by film, and the last one is the TV. So those are the explanations you can give. Now explain whether J. Kanyama should undertake the first printing press investment proposal. So we are told that this guy received the investment proposal. So we can come here and talk of the new project. The new project. Now, in deciding whether to take up the project or not, you only need to compute the return on investment. The return on investment. The return on investment of this new project, we are told it is going to bring an income of 30 million. An income of 30 million. And the cost of investment is 200. So if you multiply by 100, you are able to see what is the return on investment. That's 15%. So once you do that, you come here and you have the criteria, the decision, and then the explanation. We have the criteria. The criteria is the method that we are going to use. We can use return on investment, and we can as well use residual income. Then, whichever you use, you will arrive at a particular decision where you will either accept or reject. So for the return on investment, we are going to reject. If you remember what we said, when you are comparing a project using a return on investment method, you are supposed to look at the existing divisional return. Now, this project by Kanyama, it is the newspapers division, which is currently having 22. But the project is proposing is bringing 15. So we will reject it because you see 15% is less than 22.45%. Less than 22.45%. Then this other one, we will say accept. And why? Because we said in our notes that you compare the return on investment of that project, which is 15%, with the minimum required cost of capital, which the question gives us as 12%. So when you're using the residual income method, we compare the return on investment with the minimum required rate of return. Then we decide whether we shall accept or reject. So that is all about that question. Unless kuna swali. So if we are okay, let's now go to May 2006, question 5A. May 2006, question 5A. May 2006, question 5A. And I would like to request Abdullahi to read for us. May 2006, question 5A. Abdullahi, have you seen the question? Okay, Mwalimu, you can assist us there. Okay, let me go back to Aska. Aska,
Mwalimu, the question is not in the paper.
is not in the papers.
Yes.
Okay, then what about 2013? December 2013, there's a similar question, but now different figures. December 2013, question 5. Or you're not able to, then let me share what we have. You have found it.
Yes, December.
You are muted.
December 2013, question 5 is there.
Yes, read for us.
A or B?
The one that is starting with division managers of Western.
Okay. The divisional managers of Westdo Limited, a medium-sized company, are evaluated and those with outstanding performance rewarded on an annual basis. The divisional manager of the Pendo division is faced with the following mutually exclusive investments. Additional information. The initial capital outlay is to be amortized evenly over the project's life. The initial outlay is to be made on 1st January 2014. The company's required rate of return is 16%. All cash flow accrue evenly throughout the year. Assets are valued at net book value at the beginning of each year in determining the divisional returns. Both projects 1 and 2 are expected to have a nil residual value. Ignore taxation. Required, determine the average residual income and advise the management on which project it should select. 2, determine the average return on investment and advise the management on which project it should select.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very good. That's very good. So I want us to design a table that looks like this. Where we will do so we have the year 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, Project 1 and 2. Project 1 and 2. Let me divide my space. But for you, you may not need to divide. Because your book is ruled. With that, Okay. Aya. Now, have you finished drawing? Are you through? If you are through, let me. Okay. Yes, that's good. So, I've already sent you the question that we were meant to solve, the one of May 2006. So after we are done with this, you'll compare. So we can have our figures in thousands, the figures in thousands. So if the figures are in thousands, for project one, the initial cost is 10,240. 10,240. And the project here is 8320. 8320. So because you can see each one of them has a useful life of 4 years, so divide this by 4. You have to put the depreciation. 10,240 divide by 4. $256. Huh? Is it? 2560. So that 2560, put it in every place of project one. And then do the same for project two. This one divide by 4. Divide by 4, we get the depreciation for the second project. $2,080. So 2080, 2080, 2080, 2080. So let's get the closing balances for the past year. So 10,240 minus 2560 is how much? You get 7680. So that 7680 becomes the opening of here. Then tell me 8320 minus 2080. The 240. So this is the 240 becomes the opening there. So give me this 7680 minus 2560. $5120. So 5120 becomes the opening here. 6240 less 2080. $4160. So 4160. So this one, when you less, obviously this will be 2560. This will be 2080. 2560, 0, 2080, and that will be 0. So that is how you get the closing values and the depreciation. Let's get the cost of capital. 16% of this C. So tell me 16% of 10,240. 1638.4. Then 16% of this. Next one. That 1.2. The next 16% of this. $1228.8. The next 998.4. The next 819.2. The next 665.6. The next 49.6. And the last one 332.8. For the cash flows, you record these values that they have been given. The net cash flows, this is that 840, 4160, that 840, 3520, that 840, 2400, that 840, and 1600. So because the formulas are very clear from there, I want you now to get the income, the residual, and this one. Let me give you 5 minutes. 5 or 6 minutes, 6 minutes, each one 2 minutes. And I'll be back with discuss. You finished? Oscar? Finished? Okay, not yet, Abdullahi. Aya. So hurry up, hurry up. Okay, are we through now? Okay, Abdullahi, yes. The others, are we through? So what you can see is that the first project here is reporting negative residual and a very small return. But as the years go, things are changing. And project one starts to produce very good results, while project two is not producing good results. So to come or to show that as a single figure, you can do a table of averages. You can do a table of averages there. Actually, I can do it like this. So what you do, that you have the values that are here for each project, the 4 of them. Ukikuta kwa residual, let me start with the return on investment. Nimeanza nayo. You take this one of 1, this one, this one, and this one. You add them and you divide by 4. Then tell me the answer here. $26.04. Do the same for project 2. Do the same for project 2. This plus this plus this plus this. $8.02. All right, let's do the same with the residual. You take the residual of project 1 here, here, and here. You add them, then you divide by, so it's 8.02 or 8.17, which is which? Yeah, 8.17. Residual income. $371.2. The next one. 180.8. Yeah, so when you're told to select, now you can see project 1 is better. It has a return of 26 compared with this one with 8. It has a residual of 371 compared with 180. Yeah. So we will select project 1. So we call it a lesson at that point. I have already sent you the question I had mentioned. You can use it for practice. So when we meet next time, God willing, we shall handle the value added statement. Thank you. Good day.
Mwalimu,
Yes.
we don't have recording for performance management, that class.
Did not set the recording for last time.
Yes, you sent for Sunday, where we were finishing with sales variance.
Oh, okay. So for Monday, I did not set.
Yes.
Okay. So let me look at it, and I said.
Together with notes if there were.
Even the notes I did not. Okay, so I'll check what I sent. I thought I sent everything.
Okay, thank you.
Very good.